All right, today I'm going to show you how to change out the engine oil on a Craftsman riding lawnmower. This has the Briggs and Stratton Platinum Series. It's the 21 horsepower, 540cc engine. Okay, so here's your engine oil dipstick. This is how you fill your crankcase with oil. And this right here is going to be your crankcase drainage tube. So what you're going to do is you're just going to push down and bring it out, and then you want it lower than the crankcase so the oil will drain into a bucket. All right, so you're going to want to put a like a drain pan or a small bucket or something underneath the oil drain tube. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you're going to turn it, and it's going to twist counterclockwise. So you're going to take it, turn it this direction, okay, and then what you're going to do is just going to pull straight out. And now you just have to make sure that the oil is lower, or sorry, the tube is lower than the engine crankcase. All right, once you're satisfied that your engine oil is completely drained, go ahead and let's just clean off the surface here. Let's go ahead and just pop this back on, just like that. Turn it clockwise to lock it into place, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and then just reinstall this, just like that. Now the O-ring, because it sits up higher than the crankcase does, is not a huge ordeal. The only time that it really is a big deal is when you're bringing it down and it starts to leak out. But the only time you're doing that is when you're draining your engine oil. So the other thing too is you want to inspect your oil hose here. You can get this at any hardware store. You can get it at your auto parts store. And if it's cracked or leaking or anything, you might want to change that out. Super easy to do. There's a clamp on this side and a clamp right here on this side. So let's go ahead and just pop this back in place. All right, so the next step that we're going to do is we're going to remove the oil filter. Right now is a good time too to change out your air cleaner or the air filter. So you can go ahead and do that. I do have this on another video, so go ahead and watch that. So what you're going to do is just get on here, and then what you want to do, again, you're going to be turning it in a counterclockwise rotation. And there is going to be some oil that's going to leak out. So what you want to do is, again, put some rags down so it can catch that. But you do want to change out your oil filter. So let's go ahead and unscrew this. See how the oil's leaking here. So you're going to get some out of here, or if you have a small bucket. Okay. All right, so the next thing I always do is I just spray this area down with WD-40 and just clean it up really good, because you want the mating surface to be free of any dirt or oil contaminants. And then you also probably want to clean off your rail, since you've dumped some used oil on it. All right, so you're also going to want to look up what your specific manufacturer wants you to run for your engine oil, and also the quantity that needs to go into the crankcase. So once you get that and you get your oil all set and ready to go, what you're going to do is take your new oil filter, and then we're going to take your the oil that's brand new, and you're just going to dip your finger in it. You want to run a light coating around the outside of this black rubber seal. That way it makes a good positive seal around the mating surface here. All right, so do not install it dry. So put that oil around that seal, go ahead and spin it in, until it's good and snug, and then just bring it up finger tight. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take your oil wrench, and then you're just going to give it a little snug turn. All right, so and then also too, the other thing I want to show you is, so if you look at this, what they show on the outside, it says oil the gasket, what you did, and then it says hand tighten only. I've had too many leaks doing these engines, and I just take it, and like I said, I just give it a little bit with the oil filter wrench. Just give it a little bit of a turn. That way it seals 10 times better. All right, so the next thing you want to do is just remove the oil dipstick. So let's go ahead and pull that out, set it aside. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna put in a funnel. That way you don't make a big, huge mess. All right, so before you get underway on filling, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up your oil dipstick, and you wanna make sure that you fill it to the proper level. And if you notice, there's two holes. There's one here and then one here. The one towards the bottom, that is the low end. That is the minimum that you're gonna fill it to. And then the upper one is the maximum that you're gonna fill to. So you do not want to go over this hole here. So if you look at, there's some hash marks. It's kind of hard to see here, but there's some hash marks that are in between the two holes. And if it's in that area right there, you're safe. So if your oil is within those two holes here, then you're totally fine. But I always fill it to the very top hole. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting some oil in. And once again, you want to check this thing frequently, because you do not want to overfill. If you overfill, you're going to have to take that oil out. All right, so if you notice on mine, it is about halfway up. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's about halfway up, so we do need to add some more oil. All right, so now that you've taken and topped off your oil dipstick to the top mark, you want to take into consideration your oil filter, because when you run your engine and you get it hot, that engine oil is going to be pumping through the oil filter, which is on the other side, the one that you just replaced. So it's going to take away from the amount of oil that's down inside the crankcase. So you're going to want to check it after you run the engine for a little bit. You'll want to come back after it's cold. You want to check it to make sure that you have the right amount of oil that's in the crankcase, and it should deplete it a little bit because of that filter. The other thing that you want to do is just go around and make sure that you don't have any additional leaks anywhere. So go ahead and check your oil filter and just kind of walk around and look it over. Hopefully this video helped you out. I've got a ton of videos coming up that will be on riding lawnmowers. I've got the Craftsman, I've got John Deere, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet. So stay tuned for those, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.